Hello, friends. I don't know how it was for you, but for me it seemed that for a while there things were on the up and up. Celebrated Easter, even in a different way, but there was a lot of joy and just we saw kindness within families even more. The weather is getting warmer, slowly, but it is getting warmer. And it seemed that the severity of the COVID crisis was actually starting to settle. That curve was flattening. We could begin to see, well, now we have to plan how we're going to get out of this, back out from the restrictions, careful step by careful step. And then last Saturday and Sunday, Nova Scotia. The poor people there. I mean, they already had all that COVID brings to our lives. And then this senseless violence, this senseless murder, it's incomprehensible almost. And deep darkness and deep sin will always be incomprehensible. You know, I was thinking about that. In times of crisis, it's the very best of humanity that comes forward and the very worst. It really is. And I mean, if we look at what's happening in the various countries and different parts of our country, and you know, just as we live life, we see that this time is accentuating what is goodness and love and self-sacrifice and creativity and solidarity and just goodness. And at the same time, okay, not to the realm of what we saw in Nova Scotia. And there, you know, that man who was the killer, did all that killing. I mean, God sees him with love, sees him with infinite, unconditional love. However, we can say what was darkness in that man's heart was hatred, was, I don't know, anger, fear, out of control. He certainly wasn't letting himself be touched by that love of God. And so, what am I saying? What I'm saying is, in this time, as we slowly back out, and we're going to figuratively, sooner than literally, we're going to rub shoulders against each other. You know, how many people in the store at one time? And if I'm waiting for a whole hour to get into that store, when the person comes out of the store, do I give them a sour look because they've been in there too long? Do I even say something rude to them? You know, we're going to have compromises. We're going to have to be people who cultivate patience, develop greater listening, greater empathy. We're going to have to develop a greater possibility of being community, of working towards consensus, towards communion. We're going to have to, otherwise the darkness will be there and can trip us up, can make the backing out of this COVID so much more difficult, so much more hurtful, sometimes so much more violent. And so as people of faith, and all people of goodwill, we have to recommit ourselves to an even greater sense of being there for one another, together with one another. That's what the people of Nova Scotia were saying as they were trying to move forward in their time of grief. And so, but if we do that, if we ask God to help us in that, and to lead us in that, and we put our trust in God, in that loving, in that, all of those things that I've mentioned that build up communion, then I think we will be backing out of this COVID to a new and a better normal. A lot of people are talking about that. A new normal. A renewed way of being human beings with one another. We'll talk about that more. Have a good week.